know God, that little girl right there, there ain't no way she'd be laying in that old ugly man's lap, hugged up, asleep. She'd be running from me. She'd be scared to death. There's a connection there, you know. I don't think it comes from a swamp. Me and my working partner, Glenn Garman, Jerry Smith knows him. He was my big working buddy, and he had a big working buddy. And we were on the Weston Hotel downtown back in the 70s. They put me and him in an elevator shaft one day, and we were going to install some forms on the elevator frame so they could grout them. And they said, just use the elevator guy's platform, you know, that they work off of. And so we put a bunch of these forms together, and we loaded up the little wooden platform there, and we installed them there. We'd hit this little lever with our foot, and we'd go down the next floor, put them on there, then we'd hit it, and we'd go down, put them on there, and I don't know how many floors we had done, and then simultaneously, we both looked at each other and said, wonder how far this cable goes. And so we just exited the elevator shaft, walked around, went down the steps, walked over up to our elevator shaft we was in, and we were standing there looking at our platform, and the cable was hanging about that far underneath that platform. Didn't have a cable clamp on it, didn't have a knot in it, nothing. We just standing there looking at it. Where did that come from? Me and my cousin just, at the same exact moment, just questioned that. And we got off and went and checked. If we hadn't, I wouldn't be here today. He wouldn't have been here. We were way up that tower when that happened. Back at Browns Mill Road when I was a kid, I was out in the yard playing, and there was an old condemned house beside us. An old lady still lived in it. She wouldn't leave. You'd meet her in the woods, she'd be talking to herself as she walked through the woods. Anyway, she had an outhouse out behind her house. So I needed to take a leak one day, so I was close to it. I never had been in there. It's like, well, I'll just use her bathroom. So I go over there and I walk into her bathroom. I can't remember if it might have been a two-seater. You know, back in those days, you'd go in there as a family. You know, if you had a big enough, we could all do it together. Anyway, I stepped in there, and this thing was old. And when I did, I went through the floor. And I grounded myself like this. And was able to work my way up out of there and climbed out of that thing. And looked down in there. And I wouldn't, you wouldn't want to go down in there. Nobody would have known, you know, nobody was around. I guess they'd have found me eventually, maybe. I think I had somebody looking out for me. Stand here on earth, you know, there's a certain time, and the moon is just the exact size and distance from the earth. And when we line up the moon and between us and the sun, it blocks out the sun just perfectly during an eclipse. I mean, just the exact distance from the earth and the exact size, and I mean, it's a big bang millions of years ago, and it just slung this stuff out there, and it just ended up that way. Yeah, okay. I don't believe it. I believe there's other forces at work here. You hear on the news 2 or 3 weeks ago about the guy that died, heart attack or whatever? He was out. He was talking about his afterlife experiences and all. It was on the news. Anybody see that? Anyway, the nurse that was in there said he was without oxygen for 45 minutes. He was gone. 45 minutes. And all of a sudden the guy pops back. He's fine. How does that work? You know, you've got, what, about 10 minutes, I think it is, when you, without oxygen to the brain, and you've got problems, you have brain damage and all. He was gone for 45 minutes. Wow, he's back. There was a doctor, female, a couple of years ago, kayaking. She was out for 30 minutes. She was gone and talked about, she wrote a book about it. Go and Google it. Stuff like that. I don't know. How does that happen? How do you explain stuff like that? This cancer deal. I used to drink sweet tea like water. I drank that stuff from the time I got up in the mornings to the time I went to bed. All of a sudden one day, just like flipping a switch. Take that sweet tea. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't. And to this day, I've tried to drink sweet tea many times since then. I can't drink it. It's nasty. And I would drink a gallon of tea a day easily. There's 2 cups of sugar in a gallon of tea. 16 ounces, a pound of sugar a day, just in what I'm drinking. Doesn't include what's in my food and the sweets that everybody likes to eat. Cancer cells love sugar. And all of a sudden, I even asked the oncologist about it. He'd ever heard anything like that. Nope. He'd been doing it for 30 years. He said he had heard of specific foods, maybe, a certain food that somebody might not care much about, but never any kind of drinks. So just like that, I had just drastically reduced, you know, my sugar intake for a day, you know, just, and how did that happen? I can try to drink some of the stuff right now and I just can't drink it. And so that tells me I need to cut my sugar down. So I did. And I think that was somebody's way of doing that, you know? How much time we got? We're good.
The important question is how much time do you have?
Y'all don't have enough time, trust me. All this stuff, 12 months ago when all this stuff went down, I also didn't realize that I had a bad case of claustrophobia. And I had signs of it in my life, you know, little things that bothered me, but never knew I had a big problem with it until this happened. Walked into the kitchen one day and it was daylight, you know, and I'm looking around and it's like something wrong, you know, because it's daylight, I'm supposed to be at work, you know. All of a sudden I lost my job. I had to quit smoking. I knew that if I had just a smidge of a chance of hanging around a while or making that 14 months, I had to quit smoking. There was no, you know. So I was doing that, claustrophobic. I was dying. You know, that added to it. My anxiety level, I've always heard people talk about their anxiety and all that. I thought they was a bunch of, you know, pansies or something. My anxiety level was through the roof. I mean, I'd go out every morning and I'd already have it planned out like you guys do on your jobs, like we always do. And I would go to work. I'd paint the stinking pickets on the porch, you know, if any of you guys have it, you know, they're a pain in the, you know, tail to keep up with. paint them pickets on that porch, work on the deck. I would work all day long. I'd come in, sit down, try to watch TV. I'd last about 10 seconds. I'd get back up and I'd go back outside. I couldn't stay in the house. And I didn't feel like working. I mean, trust me, I didn't feel like working at all. But I'd stay out there all day doing something. And it'd start getting, in the afternoon, man, I'd start getting depressed because I knew I was going to have to go in the house. And then I'd go in the house and I know it was going to be another long night because I couldn't sleep. I started that chemo stuff. I go in there at night and put my breathing apparatus on. You know, when I go to bed, I look like I'm fixing to go snorkeling. You know, if anybody that does that stuff, that's not a lot of fun. But I get suited up, you know, and lay down in that bed. And I'd have to get right back up. I'd sit down in my chair in there in the room. I'd get the Bible out, start reading the Bible, and I'd read and read and read. And then after a few hours, I'd get my mask on, get suited up, get back in bed. I'd hop right back up. I'd read the Bible, turn the TV on. I'd be up all night long. Every once in a while, I might doze off, you know, sitting there in a chair. But then I'd wake myself up gagging because I didn't have my mask on and I can't breathe. And so this went on for 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks. I mean, day and night. I mean, it got to the point, I came in one Saturday evening, and told Gina, I said, I'm not going to make it another night. I need some help. And she reached out and handed me a little blue pill. She says, take this might help. And so then I asked her, I said, what is this and what are you doing with it? So that's when I found out that my wife was having her own problems dealing with my situation. And she had been to the doctor. And my son, he was having problems with my other sons. And in other words, I found out that there was a lot of people had problems with it besides me. But I took that pill. I was desperate. I went in there and got suited up, hit the bed, and slept all night. First time, like I say, in 2 weeks. And I woke up the next day and it was like, wow, you know, I think I might make it, you know. It gave me hope. And so I cut a deal, you know. I was talking with my God. I talked to this guy. We're pretty tight now, you know. I talk to him all the time. He knows what I'm up to. And but anyway, I cut a deal with him. I had to make a decision with this chemo stuff. I had a good PET scan where all the cancer, none in my lymph nodes, none in my pancreas, adrenal gland, none there. The only cancer that they saw after 3 months of the poison was the 2 tumors I had in my lung, and they had shrunk significantly, if that's the right word. Anyways, the chemotherapy, you got a 40% chance of it doing anything, is what my doctor told me. So I had a 60% chance of 0, no help whatsoever. And I thought after the 3 months that they do a PET scan, and if it's not doing anything, I'm thinking, you know, they might swap poisons, you know, maybe try some Drano, maybe, you know. And he informed me that they don't swap. They just keep giving you that same stuff, whether it helps or not. You know, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but they keep doing it, giving it to you, and they give it to you till you die. And that's their prescription. In my condition, you take chemo till you die. And so I didn't want to take chemo till I died. And I thought the chemo was going to kill me before the cancer. And after 6 months of it, 7 rounds of it, I didn't recover after that 7th round. I was coming up on my 8th round and my 2nd PET scan. And I never did recover. I mean, I never got off the couch. I mean, I was weak. I wasn't ready to take another round of that stuff. And I think they were going to give it to me. And so I had to make a huge decision whether I go ahead and keep taking that stuff, do what they tell me, or just turn it over to God. And so that's what I did. I was in the bathroom one night. Gina and Connor had went to bed. Everything was cut off. I'd always cut off everything, lock the doors. I'd move to my bedroom and I'd get ready and go to bed. I was sitting in there one night, leaned over the vanity in the bathroom, talking. And you know, y'all make big decisions out there on those construction jobs every day. You guys in the office do. I tell you, this was a big decision I had to make. And I always check on everybody when I go to bed. I don't know why. I think that's my job, but I checked in on her. Checked in on Connor. Connor, when I stepped into his bedroom, he was laying there on his bed, kind of laid over like this, and his mouth was hanging open, and it, you know, kind of snorting around a little bit. I went on in there, and I was talking to God, and I said, I'd always, heard that you got to put, all your faith in it. You just got 100% faith. And so I told him, I said, I'm all in. Me and you. And I said, but I just need to know. I need to know if you hear me. And I was sitting there leaned over the vanity, and I hear a little tick over there, a little tick over there, a little tick over there. Bathrooms, you know how they are. You hear a lot of crap in a bathroom. And so I'm sitting, no funny. But anyway, I said, I want to know that you hear me. I need to know. And all of a sudden, I hear this noise. I was leaned over the vanity like this. I turned like that. I thought it was either right behind me or outside the bathroom, outside behind me. And I did that, and then I hear it again, and it was Connor. It was my youngest son. He was in the opposite end of the house in his bedroom. I mean, I didn't live in no big house, 2,000 square feet, but it's pretty good little ways over into his bedroom. And as soon as I heard it the second time, I just started heading to his room. I knew exactly what it was. And I swear it was like Connor was standing behind me. I mean, it was amazing. And he went a little thing like that. And I took off. I wasn't running, but and I stepped into his bedroom, got around into his bedroom, and looked, and he was laying on his side facing the wall. His face was about that far from the wall. And when I stepped in there, he turned over and looked at me. And I said, Connor, are you okay? And he said, yeah, I just laid down. I said, oh, okay. And I turned around and left. He had, that position he was in when I saw him to begin with, he was, I guess he's got this sleep apnea crap that his old man got. Mm-hmm. And he snorted a little bit. And me in the opposite end of the house, I'm telling you, I couldn't have hurt him. Because before we left that house, I sold that house. I live in Dallas now. One night he was in there playing Xbox, and I said, Connor, do me a favor. He said, what's that? I said, start making records. Start snorting and everything. She was in bed. And I said, just start snorting and, doing all this crazy stuff. He said, okay. So he started doing it, and I took off. I went to the bathroom back where I was at, and I leaned up. And there was nothing else on in the house. And I just sat there. I couldn't hear a thing. Could not hear anything. And I worked my way back to his bedroom. I said, Connor, did you make any records? He said, yeah, I was doing this and blah, blah, doing this and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and all this stuff. I could not hear a sound in that bathroom. I'm just telling you. It's real. It's there. And so anyway, I told him that I would do this if you give me time to get my house in order. So here I am. I've done it. It ain't much, but I tried. I've never done anything like this before. If ain't anybody in this room that's still smoking them nasty cigarettes, I'm not gonna, I'm telling you, you don't want to go where I just went. Trust me, you don't want to go down that road. I've had some battles in my life. You don't want to fight this one, I'm telling you. Get you one of these. If you're still smoking, you can do it with one of these. I've done it for 12 months now. If I can quit smoking on one of these things, anybody can. My lungs are so much better than 12 months ago. I'll even send one to your house. If I don't need to spend no money, but I'll set you up if anybody needs it. If you got any other problem besides cigarettes, alcohol, that's a biggie. If you got something controlling your life, which I did, you need to pick a day, like today, and stop it. I'm telling you. I know, I can't explain. It was like I was 6 feet under. I was laying in the grave, and they was throwing dirt on me. And I was trying to scramble around and stay above the dirt. There's no way I can describe the feeling and what I went through. I didn't think I was going to make it. You don't want to go down that road. If you got some other problem, if you'll talk to these guys right here, that guy in the back, they'll help you if you need some help. Because if I could have seen what I, have been through now, if I could have seen the future, trust me, I'd quit smoking a long time ago. I don't believe I'd have had a problem quitting. Sugar, like that sweet tea I drink. People don't, Coca-Colas. We're all drug addicts. We drink coffee. We drink Coca-Colas. And moderation, if we do anything in moderation, your body can handle most things in moderation. But we as Americans or human beings, we don't do anything in moderation. People get on Coca-Cola and they end up drinking, 12 pack a day of them. People do that with beer. I never did, but y'all might, yeah. But, anything, trust me. If there's any, get out of it. Stop it now. Because if there's any way you can avoid going through what I just went through, you need to do it. And so I don't know if I'll be back again. I've got plans on seeing you guys again. I hope I can be around for a while. I don't know. I don't take PET scans anymore. I don't take chemo. I don't do nothing. I check to see if my blood is thin. That's all I do. And my doctor says that when I have symptoms again, I've got about 30 days. And so I'm just enjoying every minute of it. And I think I got more than 30 days. I believe I've got 14 months. I think that's a piece of cake. I might be wrong, but some people have survived years and years with this, and so I'm just gonna try to do the best I can and work for this guy for a while. I think that's what he's been wanting me to do. So I'm helping people. I guess that's it.
Wasn't easy, was it, Davy?
No.
Thank you guys, thanks so much. We're all on a big old journey, and Davy's seen it from a little different angle than we all have, so thank you a lot, Davy.
I appreciate you letting me do this.
Oh, thank you for doing it.
I hope I didn't mess anything up.
No, we're good, thanks. All righty. Anything else? Are we gonna have lunch?
Yeah.
Lunch is ready.
Okay. You have lunch with us?